See, I've rather optimistically got sunglasses on today because the forecast was for a rare interlude between storm systems, and it looked like it was going to be sunny, and it may yet be, but at the moment it looks a bit incongruous really. It's snowing quite heavily on Ben Wyvis. Anyway, I'll keep my sunglasses on my head, ready to whip off and over my eyes as soon as the sparkling, blinding sunshine comes out, which I'm confident it will do. But for the moment, this is me grabbing my only walk of the winter, actually. The last time I was up in the mountains, last time I was up on snows in Torrin at the beginning of November. And as you all know, and you won't need me to tell you, the weather's been appalling, and although the snow has been accumulating higher up on the hills, above 800-900 metres, just hasn't stopped snowing since December, especially in the west. You need a quiet interlude to actually get up and enjoy it. What's the point in having all that snow if you can't get to it? We're more than 2/3 of the way through winter. Very, very unusual winter in how stormy it's been. Hasn't been especially mild in Fife, where I stay, but it has been notable for how murky and grey and windy it's been. It's been incessant. And unlike the last few years, 2011-12 excepted, there's been no snow, not really any snow. And a great many people, even in lowland Scotland, haven't seen any snow this winter, haven't seen a flake of snow. It's very unusual. It's all up here and at the top of the hills. So you have to go there to find it. This is getting worse. And look what we have here. A couple of ptarmigan looking resplendent in their white winter coats. Beautiful, beautiful birds. They're actually one of the few creatures that stay high on the summits all year round. Typically in summer there'll be a sort of mottled brown colour, and they're very hard to spot, especially in winter when the coats go white, and you can get very close to them before they fly off. I almost didn't see them. I'm practically on top of them. They're just maybe 10 metres from me. That's the thing with these, because you really don't see them this time of year. Perfectly camouflaged. You see how they've got a lot of feathers on their feet, which they need because they're walking on snow, which is obviously very cold. Need as much insulation as they can get. The only shelter on the hill. Well, the hat's on now, because this isn't letting up, but I'm still keeping my glasses handy, just in case. It will happen. It's a sad reflection on how this winter's been for people who like the outdoors, people who like hills and mountains and being out in the hills and mountains in winter, that this is a good day. This is one of the best days that we've had. There was about 10 days ago, there was a day, a blue sky day with still calm conditions, where people got out. I think the whole of Scotland went out and enjoyed that. I think it must have been people phoning in sick and going off to the ski centres. But this seems to be the best you can hope for this winter. But it is showing signs of clearing. I can see things appearing, so I'm hoping I will get a view. Just behind this hill, there we go, there's another ptarmigan, there's two ptarmigan actually, two more, so there's a fair few up here. There's a female, and just calling to the male, who's running over to be reunited. It's nice to see. Well, quite something, isn't it? With all the mist clearing like that. Beautiful. Almost onto the ridge, which is by no means the end of the effort in the uphill. But it's always a relief mentally to get onto the ridge and get the worst of the up halfway. I have to say, I really miss this. I can't believe I've gone 3 months without a good snowy walk. Just the slow, rhythmic trudging, your heart beating, just ploughing up the hillside, and then you sort of go into a trance in a way. It's almost meditative. But it's clearing. It's quite difficult to navigate. As you can see, there's no features at all. There's so much snow up here that everything's just been buried. So there's not even any rocks to gauge distance or anything. I've had my compass out. I was in a whiteout for about 15 minutes or so, but wasn't too bad. And thankfully now, as you can see, it's brightening up. But you really get a sense of what an exposed hill Ben Wyvis is. The top. Well, I'm on my way down again. I got to what I am 95% sure is the summit, but I couldn't actually find it. I think it's been buried. From recollection, there was a trig point at the very top, and I remember last time I was here, it was half buried, and there hadn't even been that much snow, and there has been a lot of snow this year. I wasn't going to walk around all day trying to find out where proper summit was. I'm fairly sure I was there, but the clouds come in again and the wind's picking up a bit, so I'm on my way down. And I'm walking into the wind now, so I'm starting to ice up. Just a whole lot of nothing. White. Well, it's almost nice down here, out the cold. I've only come down about 100 metres or so off the plateau, and it's suddenly the sun's out, it's warm. I'm melting again. I was getting free. Everything was freezing up, even had ice in the back of my hand. This is lovely. Sunshine, snow, no views, but you can't have everything. That was actually quite challenging. A featureless landscape that really crusty snow, so I hadn't really left big footprints, but nonetheless I was still kind of following them on the way back, which I wasn't relying on them totally, but you get a bit complacent, I think, and even though it's not that windy and there's been no new snow, there's still spindrift blowing around and it's been filling some of the footprints in, and they disappear completely. So back to the compass again, but it does go to show that you can't rely on your footprints. And I actually just bumped into two people who are going on the way up now. I think they looked a bit uncertain whether they were going to carry on because it's a good 2 kilometres to the summit. And I said to them that I couldn't find it. I think the trig point's buried. And they said, your footprints will be down, won't they? I said, no, they won't be. Mine are gone already. Just in the time it's taken me to go there and come back. Not that windy, not that much snow blowing around, but they've still been covered up. So they can't rely on my footprints, and they can't rely on their own for when they're coming back. That's if they do it. They weren't sure whether they're going to push on. They looked a bit uncertain. And if you're uncertain, best not do it. Well, I'm getting the view now. It looks like maybe it's actually going to clear. I've switched to crampons for a nice, easy, quick descent. It's amazing how quickly the landscape changes. In Scotland, things being altered, new things being built. Last time I was here, the whole of that was just hills, and now there's a wind farm over there that wasn't there before. Quite a big one too, enormous. Slap bang over there on top of those hills. Seems to be ubiquitous these days. It was only a short section that I needed to use crampons for, but it was really, really steep and the snow was a bit crusty. Kind of stuff where one slip could send you tumbling, so even though it's only a short stretch, and you might think, oh, it's only a short stretch, I really don't need to do it. You really should. I know it's a hassle sort of stopping, getting your crampons out of your bag, using them, and then 10-15 minutes later having to stop and take them off and go through that whole rigmarole again, but could save your life. Rather typically, no sooner have I stepped off the hill and back on the path, it's all completely free of cloud again. That's why I went up there and then came along here, and that's the ridge there. You can just, might be hard to see in this camera, but that's what's completely in cloud and why it was a nightmare to navigate. But now it's all free again. Just in the last 10 minutes, it's cleared just like that. So the people who I passed on my way up are probably going to have a lovely views up there, lovely time. But mind you, it's starting to snow again. Another very good path, and it has good reason for being here, and it has good reason for being so well maintained, is because it is a popular hill, but this whole area around Ben Wyvis is a national nature reserve, and the hill itself is a very important place for mosses. Typically on a lot of Scottish hills, you go up to the top of them on the summits and you'll find, well, rocks obviously, but grass, heather, that kind of thing. But a few hills, and Ben Cleabreck in Sutherland springs to mind as one, actually, is one that's like this. Ben Wyvis as well has mosses, and it almost forms this big carpet up there. The whole summit ridge, you know, goes on for kilometres. Just moss, a bouncy carpet of moss. It's actually quite nice to lie on in summer, but in winter it freezes completely solid, and then it gets covered in snow. And the kinds of places where you get snow cover for a very, very long time, for a long time throughout the year, you get unique habitats forming, microclimates, the types of species that you won't find pretty much anywhere else, and it's the snow cover up there that has a great impact on what grows there. And so it's very, very highly regarded in a global context, I think, for its mosses. But similarly elsewhere here, it's a special protection area, SPA, which is designated for birds because of the breeding population it has of dotterel, which are upland birds, quite scarce, but Ben Wyvis holds a substantial percentage of the UK population of dotterels, so it's designated for that too. Wow, what a difference there is that view that way now. This morning you couldn't even see up that glen. That's Little Wyvis up there. Beautiful, beautiful glacial valley, and that's where I was up there, up the top, and then went a few kilometres along that ridge. Sunshine. Sunshine, something that's been in short supply pretty much everywhere this winter, especially out west. Those poor people, the Western Isles and the Inner Hebrides, they think they've seen sun since November. Oh, so nice. If I take my hat off for the first time today. It's so typical that the ridge is now completely free of cloud. It certainly would have made navigation up there a lot easier. Oh well. Can't complain. Even if you don't get the views, every experience is different, every weather condition offers a different experience, and that one I've had today is actually quite handy in that it's reminded me I need to brush up on my navigation and my pacing out distances and timing how long it takes to walk a kilometre and 100 metres, all that kind of thing. I definitely need to go out and do that some more because I'm out of practice. But even though I didn't manage to locate the summit, it's a really satisfying walk just to get out and see snow again, actually. Just to be in the hills. It's wonderful, and it's just made me more eager to make use of any other intervals that come between storm systems, and just hoping like I think that we all are, that this weather pattern we're stuck in is going to stop and change soon. And when it does, we can all go out and play in the huge amounts of snow that are left. Look forward to it.